This is round 3 of the Two-Headed Dragon tournament that we had in Portland, Oregon at FAB Foundry. Like I said in the previous 2 videos of this series, we randomized partners on teams for each round. The top of the screen is Kieran playing an Archimago, and I think he said that this Archimago deck was not like the meta build, so I don't know if he's running like a Crater Eyes package. I think he's running a like a Foot Soldier spam package instead, something a little more fun. And I do not remember who his partner is playing the Elementalist. And then the bottom of the screen is I think it's Eric. Eric, a local that lives in Washington and comes down to play with us frequently here in Portland, Oregon, playing an element or an Enchantress deck, and his partner is Darian playing a Battle Mage. So two-headed dragon. I think we've covered most of the rules before in kind of previous videos on this format, but for a full list of the rules, I'll go ahead and leave that link to the Beasts of the Bay website with a more comprehensive description of kind of what is allowed and what is not allowed in format. Turn 2 Lookout Darian. We get to see what that team has in their hand. It's got an orb of Belbereth, and holding a lightning bolt, Common Sense, and it's Earthquake, Delson Phalanx, Trojan Cavalry. So some tools on curve coming up ahead here. So passing turn, the Archimago Elementalist team is going to start their turn 2 here. Looks like Kieran's drawn a spell for turn. We're gonna see what their second sights are in a second. Troll Bridge coming out in the center, and a Simple Village. Looks like he's gonna pay the 1 for another Foot Soldier token. And let's see if Kieran has a 2-drop. He's looking through his hands. Doesn't look like it. I'd be surprised if he did. Archimago runs pretty minion light. Choosing not to move up that Foot Soldier token, just leaving Foot Soldier token on each site, and passing turn. We're going to see turn 3 here with Enchantress. Looks like Tim for a sight. He's choosing a floodplain. Battle Mage with Dark Tower. He's going to ramp into 4 mana here for his turn. 4/4 Clamor of Harpies. Getting the Fire Threshold from Ruins. And going to teleport in one of the Foot Soldier tokens and strike it. Eric, they're discussing some strategy with his teammate here on whether or not he's going to play a card here on turn 3 of 3 mana, or if he's going to hold and just pass back. It looks like they're opting just to pass back turn. So we're setting up here for turn 3. Turn 3 sight from the Elementalist is a floodplain as well. 3 mana in the mana pool. Kieran playing the Color Out of Space. both of them with 3 points. Carrion offering to take care of the harpies with a lightning bolt. His teammates saying, yes, please do that. So we go ahead and see that play, and then Adept Illusionist coming out. Adept Illusionist, not a bad piece to get out on the board here early. Turn 2 or turn 3. If they can't get that removed, then next turn he's going to be fishing for the seconds in the pair of those pieces, and then he'll have a good defensive screen kind of set up. Darien playing a Watchtower, getting out to 4 mana here. 2 for the Violent. Violent will remove the Illusionist. Eric looks like he played out an Aqueduct. 4 mana for this is the King of Unland. Playing it submerged to make it more difficult to reach. And passing turn back. So we're going to begin turn 4 here. Looks like Kieran drew looks like a site for turn. Another village coming out, opting not to do the Genesis, using the 4 mana instead for a Petrosian Cavalry to take out the Violent. Archimako playing Common Sense, fishing out a Common Sense. Tapping to play a site, playing an Aqueduct, playing the second Common Sense. And looks like he chose the 3rd Common Sense. So just getting all those Common Senses, throwing them into either his hand or the cemetery at this point. It looks like he changed his mind. So instead of that 3rd Common Sense, he's getting a Lightning Bolt instead. So 2 Common Senses into the cemetery, Lightning Bolt into his hand. I think that's all his mana, passing turn back. So he's got a cemetery with 3 magic spells at this point now. And it looks like Darien just drew a Funeral Pyre, which is unfortunate for Kieran. He's playing it. I think he's just deciding where to put it here. He's gonna... They're having a brief discussion about the optimal site locations. Darien is so clearing out that cemetery with the funeral pile. Darien is just saying like it's better to make like 2x2 square boxes on the board to help out the Enchantress with the aura placements, giving more possibilities on where to put it and animate it in a manner where it will not die as a aura minion. Eric playing out an Impenetrable Copse, and Eric realizing that he has an opportunity to prevent the other team from connecting sites. So he's going to go ahead and place there. The significance to that in Two-Headed Dragon is that there are additional rules in the format. If you are able to connect adjacent to at least one of your opponent's sites, then that grants your team the ability to cast minions and artifacts to each other's sites. So because they're cut off now, we don't have the opportunity to do that. They don't have the opportunity to do that anymore. And Eric playing a giant shark submerged in the aqueduct. I think they're having a discussion as a team right now on whether or not he should just play it above on the surface, so it is in a position to attack in on the next turn, versus playing it submerged more defensively. And it looks like they opt to get it into attack position for next turn, to threaten in more damage. Darien with lightning bolts to remove the Patrician cavalry, and then passing turn back here. The giant shark in body of water with the King of Unland is currently 6 power, so it's pretty scary having that piece on the board, especially with Kieran running so much water in this Archimago build. Like, he has 4 water sites out already. It's a huge area for the giant shark. Kieran, it looks like he's playing a Led Astray. And he's trying to move. Okay, he's trying to use Led Astray to make the Lord of Unland move and force the giant shark to move and fight it. I think what so they're taking a look at the wording on Led Astray, and I think they're just discussing how that card interacts, and because Led Astray chooses a location. Location necessitates that it be in the same region as the spellcaster. So the location would be the top of the site, not the bottom of the site. So unfortunately, could not affect the King of Unland because it is below the floodplain. Otherwise, that would be a really impressive play, to be able to force the shark to eat the king. Dalsin Phalanx coming out on the Elementalist side of the board. Decent threat there, 5 power. Well outside of the body of water for the giant shark. Giant shark cannot get to it, and they're going to have a hard time pushing it into that body of water on that side of the board. Passing turn back. Kieran lamenting that his Archimago build, the Atlas is primarily, I think, water sites, is what he was saying. Kieran asking to roll back really quick. Kieran forcing a Led Astray back, targeting the shark into the troll bridge. And that move was really telegraphed because they knew from the turn 2 lookout that he had a lightning bolt in his hand, and they realized that immediately when, like, oh, the shark is going to go in if it takes 3 points of damage, then he can lightning bolt it for another 3. So Eric opted to discard instead of letting the shark take that 3 points of damage. It looks like Eric about to get an aura out here. He's got a flood in his hand, checking optimal positionings. I mean, it's going to increase the shark's body of water, but it's also like it will increase the shark's body of water when he places it, but it will also act as a minion that can be enchanted on the next turn, and then swing in for how much is that? Four mana on the casting cost, so it threatens in for 4 points of damage on wherever it's sitting. So they're having a long conversation about kind of where to put it and kind of what the implications are for next turn, like with that threat potential. Darian taking care of the Delscian Phalanx with a grapple shot, the Battle Mage, and then attacking with the Battle Mage to finish off the Delscian Phalanx. So they'll take 5 points of damage from that, but because the Battle Mage attacks and kills the Delscian Phalanx, he gets to draw a card. And it also puts the Battle Mage into the position that it wants to be, ready to start attacking these opponents' sites and opponents' units. I think they didn't realize that it looks like that the foot soldier is still there. The foot soldier could have defended the attack for the Battle Mage and saved the Delscian Phalanx. But it looked like nobody really caught that. It's hard to see that token. It's peeking out from under the elementalist, but it is there. Looks like he chose an intersection to put the flood. Places the flood there, right in the center of the board. Tapping for the Enchantress to draw a site. And then I think he attacked in where he was on the Troll Bridge with the Shark for 6 points of damage. Passing turn back. So honestly, like the giant shark in a pretty scary position, the Battle Mage in a good position here. Looks like another village being played, paying 1 to create that token. Carrion tapping for a lighthouse. I think that takes Carrion to 5 mana. 5 mana gets that orb out. We saw that orb turn 2. So that is a concern. 3 mana for Belmont Long Bowman. Just getting another body on the board here. Looks like that was all they had, so they're passing turn back. Whirling Blades on the Battle Mage to clear the entire board on that side. And then attacking for 3 points of damage. Eric playing an Undertow, forcing a pull on Archimago into the shark. The shark fights it because the Archimago entered a water site in its body of water. So that's another 6 points of damage. And then he's going to attack him with the shark for 6 more points of damage, which is just absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal on this turn, and he still hasn't spent any mana. So that's six points of damage, brings them down to 6. And he has he's sitting at what? 6 mana. He's sitting at 6 mana here. So they're discussing what spell to cast here because they want to animate the flood and swing in for another 4 points of damage. 4 points it's not enough to get them to door this turn, but it's going to get them close. They'd have to come up with 2 more points here, and I think Darian's out of mana. White Heart. Okay, so it looks like they're gonna play a white heart here. discussing where they can safely play it. You cannot put it into anything affected by flood now, because that becomes part of the body of water. Yeah, flood will attack for playing the White Heart, animating the flood, attacking for 5 points. Excuse me. Yeah, one more point from the King of Unland. So it got them really close. They're so close to getting the door here, but they can't do it this turn. Debating on it looks like there's some debate on whether or not he wants to play that helm onto the stag. The helm offers some protection, but because of the orb of Vilbereth is out, he's now paranoid that he's going to have another lightning bolt in there and be able to lightning bolt twice to remove the white stag, or white heart, I think is the card. Excuse me. How much mana are we looking at here? 6 mana, 4 mana. White heart was 3, silence is 3, that's all mana. So he's been playing a silence out and then passing turn. There. Passing turn back. Kieran and his partner are definitely feeling under a lot of pressure here. Kieran drawing a spell, and Kieran playing guards, which is going to be copied and cast again from Orb of Belbereth, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good way to remove that shark, because the shark has to fight whatever it moves to and attacks. There's some, I think, discussion right now about whether or not the guards summons the soldiers one at a time, or summons them simultaneously. I think they're playing it that they summon one at a time, and he has to fight each one. He has to fight each one as it enters. I don't think it really matters for the purposes of. Well, I guess it somewhat matters just in terms of who gets to control where the shark has to go and what it has to fight first. So they're having a long, complicated conversation about how that's going to work. Looking at the board state, I think that this is actually an illegal play. I'm only seeing 5 mana, 5 sites on the board for Kieran. Guards cost 6. He could have still done it. He could have chosen to draw a site for turn instead of a spell, and then played out that site to get 6 mana base, and then played guards and doubled it from Orb. So I think it's just a minor misplay. I think Kieran might have been thinking. I think he was already thinking that he was going to play guards out to try to deal with the shark, and then he just forgot that he needed that additional mana, and had to draw the site in order to do that. But yeah, you're seeing a long and complicated discussion about the timeline and the shark having to move to and fight every single thing as it enters into its body of water until it dies. and then we see the second. And then we see the second guard's spell popping from the Orb of Belbereth, which I think again is also slightly being misplayed. I think he's targeting it off of Archimago again, and the spellcaster for the copy is the Orb. So there should only be like 6 tokens created from the Orb versus 8. It's a very long, it's a very complicated and convoluted situation to resolve in board state. They're doing their best to work through it, I think. But they came up with a solution that everybody's happy with at that point in time. And then they just play an Amazon Warriors, and now they're joking that I think there's a simple play that we don't have to discuss for 5 minutes. So, guards also in that cemetery is potentially scary because Kieran just needs to get another magic into the cemetery next turn. He could potentially cast it again for another for like 100 million more tokens, right? He would have to get a third magic in there, so he's not going to be able to get it next turn. And again, like I said, it was an illegal play because he's only at 5 sites, so he's only looking at 5 mana currently. He did tap to draw a site though, so he could be at 6. He could be at 6 mana on his next turn, but then he wouldn't have any mana left to get another magic spell into his cemetery. So he's at least a turn behind from being able to take advantage of recasting from the cemetery, at least for guards. Eric and Darian, I think they're just having a long conversation in a team huddle here, just trying to figure out how they're gonna round up this game because they're really close. They can get them to door. They can get them the door, and then they just have to tag the avatars. So they're just looking at the best ways to do that, I think. Darren's playing. he's playing a Blood Ravens. Blood Ravens out again. I think just to threaten to get that last strike in. There's a ton of blockers on the field right now, with all the foot soldiers. Looking at ways to do this, they're talking about animating the silence, attacking into the Amazon Warriors, having the Battle Mage finish it off. They'd still take 5 points of damage, but I mean they're so far ahead, it might be worth it. Darian could draw another card. They're gonna animate the. Oh, he's playing a Rita. He's playing a Rita, Garos, Nordonia, which is super problematic for them. It really limits like how they can move with their the foot soldiers without killing and removing Rita from the board. And choosing to animate the silence aura, attacking the Amazon Warrior, and then Darren's playing a Rongaminiad onto Battle Mage, allows it to strike first, and that will finish off the Amazon Warrior without making them have to take damage. And then also gets that card draw for killing the minion. Enchantress tapping for a sight. Tapping to draw a sight, it looks like. And now they are trying to attack with the white heart. And I don't think they can do that. I think the white heart prevents attacks from other minions and locations can't be attacked. Yeah, so I don't think that's a legal play. Strictly, I don't think they would have been able to do that with the white heart. But it doesn't look like they catch that unless they realize that on the next turn here and roll it back. So we're gonna play out a turn here at Death's Door. Tapping for a windmill on the Elementalist's side of the board. He doesn't really have a way to get out of the positioning situation, I think, with the Battle Mage. But it looks like he does have a play that he wants to do here. I think he still has an Earthquake from the very beginning of the game, still in his hand here, and he's looking at what to do with it. He can't do anything with it over here on the other side of the board with all the Foot Soldier tokens, unfortunately. Like almost all of those sites are water. He could just play it there to, bury the white. Bury the heart, bury the Minia, at least get that out of the hands of the Battle Mage. It's not going to stop him from getting tagged by the Battle Mage next turn. Unless he has a blocker. I'll Shrink. Shrinking the Battle Mage, which is, it buys them a turn. That's an interesting play for sure, yeah. So the Shrink will set the unit's power to 0 until the beginning of their next turn. So, unless Darian has a way to boost the Battle Mage's power by at least 1, it can try to attack, but it attacks for 0. Opting not to do a rearrange on that Earthquake from earlier on the sites. Kieran, I think, still has not made a play yet this turn. I think he's looking in his hand. I can see he's looking at a Mariner's Curse. He's making some moves with the Foot Soldier tokens, attacking with 2 of them for 2 points of damage. Not able to defend there. He's attacking for another point, another point. 4 more in, all of them attacking into the cops. He still has 1, 2, 3, 4. He still has six of these Foot Soldier tokens untapped. Unless they can deal with Rita, they're not going to untap on their next turn. He's doing a lot of moves. He also needs to leave some of them untapped as defenders for Archimago. He's attacking for another point here. Okay, so we got a ton of attacks. So he's only setting a 5 mana. again, like we said before on the previous turn when he played the guards, he shouldn't have been able to play the guards because he only has 5 mana. He's tapping for a floodplain that brings his mana pool to 6 now. And I think he has a combo in there. Yeah, he's got a combo in his hand. So he's got Mariner's Curse and Koi Nixie, which he needs to do. He needs to do the other way around. Eric is correcting him. Yeah, you gotta play Koi Nixie first, and then Mariner's Curse, and then Koi Nixie forcing a step to submerge Rita. Mariner's Curse bounces back to hands. That was all 6. Took all 6 mana to do that. That was a really good play to take care of that piece on the board. Still leaves 3 blockers for Archimago, I think. Yeah, 2 foot soldiers and Koi Nixie. So they're just looking at. Yeah, that's all they had for that turn. They're passing it back. And yeah, Eric and Darren just looking for a way to round out the game here now. Battle Mage can definitely get a tag on the Elementalist, so that half the board is done. And then they just have to figure out how to get through to Archimago to get that last point on that avatar. Or because Battle Mage was 0. Battle Mage was still 0 power because of the shrink. But he plays a Highland Princess, fishing for the trinket to give Battle Mage +1 power attacking for 1, and then Vile Imp to just deal 2 to Archimago, finishing the game. A real fun game to watch, even though there were a couple of misplays there, like towards the end that were potentially important with the playing of the guards turn, and then also bringing them to the turn they brought them to the door with the white heart. I don't think they are allowed to do that. But this was a casual. This was a casual event. Like I said, this is a casual 2-headed dragon event. We had a lot of fun. Everybody played decks that we wouldn't normally play. They're off meta decks. They were our non-sweaty. Let's just hang out and have some fun decks with weird interactions and weird play lines and things like that. And we had a lot of fun. It's a really fun format. It's a really fun multiplayer format if you can get the group of people together to play it. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.